Scott Cochran. Coach Scott Cochran. Who is he? Is he any good? Don't really know. Too early to tell. I can tell you who he is. Anybody that's read the news or has Google can tell you who he is. But Coach Cochran has been with the Alabama program since 2007. Strength and conditioning coach. Done a phenomenal job there, obviously. Alabama's been known for having one of the most physically gifted teams in college football over the last 15 years, however long Nick Saban's been there. But before that, he was in the NBA. I believe he worked for the Charlotte Hornets. I don't know if he worked for another team. I think he spent a couple seasons in the NBA doing strength and conditioning with them. Before that, he was with LSU for a year or two. But primarily, he's been at Alabama under Nick Saban for his entire career. He wanted a coaching position that he was going to be able to take onto the field and potentially progress in. And that never happened. Didn't sound like the opportunity was going to come. Nick Saban even addressed that in his comments about Cochran leaving, that the University of Georgia gave Cochran what he was looking for in the ability to get on the field as a coach, and Alabama didn't have that spot for him. So you've got two sides. You've got a lot of people saying this is a great home run hire by Kirby. There's literally been college football analysts saying that this is going to start a war and this is the best / biggest / most aggressive coaching hire since Kirby has been at Athens. That's skeptical to me, considering some of the names that he's gotten. But then you've got the other side, a lot of Bama fans that are, well, he's probably, it was time for him to go. Our conditioning's really dropped off. We've had a lot of injuries over the last couple years, so it was probably best that we part ways. And so you've got both sides of the coin, which you're going to have in just about every scenario. But the truth of the matter is nobody really knows how or if this is going to work. Cochran has never been an on-the-field coach. He has never been a position coach. He has never done anything outside of strength and conditioning. So there really is no way of knowing if this is a smart move by Kirby or if this is something that could come back to bite him, or who knows. That's, we'll find out a little bit during this season and probably the following season. But it's very interesting, to say the least. I think that he could potentially be an upgrade over Fountain, who was the previous special teams coordinator. I think that this will end up being a very smart move on, Kirby Smart's behalf. And I say that because of the reaction that a lot of former Alabama players had to Coach Cochran leaving Alabama and joining Georgia. Josh Jacobs, former Alabama running back, and I quote, stated, "Coach Coch was the glue. Huge key to Bama's success." So, and he wasn't the only one. There was like 4 or 5, just that I saw on Twitter, previous Alabama players kind of saying the same thing, like he wasn't just a strength coach. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. He was a major part of Alabama's success over the last 13 years. Georgia really hit the nail on the head with this hire. I mean, there's things all over the place like that. So when former Alabama players are stating those sort of things, you kind of take it, a little more seriously. So again, we'll see what happens. I'm very excited for the hire. I think it's a smart move. I think he'll probably, if he does well in that position, move on to another position potentially, or another coordinator position. I think he'll be at UGA for a while. If I had to guess, he'll probably stay in the special teams role for a few years, just to get to kind of get a feel and an understanding of the game on that side, the recruiting side of it. And, but again, potentially switch over to another position coach or another coordinator, but that's, years down the road. So what does this mean for Alabama? Not a whole lot. Again, he was a strength coach. They didn't lose a position coach. They didn't lose a coordinator. They just lost a strength coach. Those can be somewhat easily replaced. The thing that can't be replaced is Coach Cochran's attitude and work ethic and demeanor and, his ability to connect with those kids. So there has been some rumors flying around. It sounds like Aaron Feld is the lead candidate and may have already accepted the job. He removed the University of Oregon out of his Twitter bio. If you don't know Aaron Feld, he was at UGA for a few years up until, the 2018 season, I believe. Right before the 2018 season. So for the last 2 years, he's been up in Eugene. And he's a great strength coach. The dude is jacked. You'll see him on the sidelines ripping shirts, and he's got the crazy handlebar mustache, which is probably what he's most famous for, and that and his biceps. Great strength coach, probably going to take the job. He worked at Alabama for a year back 7-8 years ago, before going to Georgia. So hearing reports of that, we'll see if that is announced later today. Sounds like the deal was close to being finalized, but you never know what could happen there. So I don't think it's necessarily as big of a loss for Alabama as it is as big of a get for UGA. UGA is not hurting on coaching or recruiting or anything like that, but getting a guy like this could get us over the hump. We'll see. It's a little too early to tell for that, but it is exciting, guys. This dead period is absolutely excruciating. I mean, there is essentially nothing going on in the world of college football. And for somebody that's new, trying to start a channel, trying to, talk about college football and Georgia football, this is the worst couple months of the year. It's going to start getting better real quick. As soon as this dead period is over and the coaches can reach out to the 2021 recruits, that's gonna fire up real quick. You're gonna start having recruits flying off the shelves here, probably in about a month or so. But that part is coming up. The NFL Combine is this week. Probably touch a little bit on that after the fact, when we see, how certain players do, especially certain players at UGA. Jake Fromm, DeAndre Swift, Andrew Thomas, Wilson, Kinley, Cager. We'll see how all of those guys do, and I'll probably make a video and talk about them. But guys, I appreciate you bearing with me. Those that have subscribed to the channel, those that are watching these videos, thank you. This is a very hard and boring time to try to start a new YouTube channel, because there is just nothing going on in the world of college football. So again, appreciate you watching. Glad to see Coach Cochran in the red and black in Athens. I think it's going to be potentially huge for the University of Georgia and for Coach Cochran in his future and wanting to be a head coach. So excited for that. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.